All right, Jerry Palm is our guy. That's right. CBS Sports bracketologist jumps aboard. From what we saw, let's start Big Ten. Indiana, Michigan. Weird game. Michigan has a big lead. Indiana goes on a big run. Indiana closes it out. They win. What does this do big picture for Indiana and Michigan?
Well, for Indiana, it's a chance to fight another day. They're going to get to play the top seed in the Big Ten, Illinois. Indiana may or may not make the NCAA tournament after this, but if they can beat Illinois, their chances of making the tournament go way up. For Indiana, part of their problem is the inability to win away from home. This is their best win of the season away from home. A Michigan team that now may not make the NCAA tournament after this loss today. They're only 3 games above 500. That's usually fatal to your chances. This is a pretty weak bubble, so maybe they'd get in anyway. But if I'm Michigan, I'm not counting on that at all.
So right now you would put Michigan under 50%, but obviously everything is relative on how many bid stealers, who wins, who loses here on out. But right now you think they're on the you're on the downside, not the upside. They got the smaller part of the wishbone.
Yeah, I mean the problem is, all of the bubble teams, the last 4 in, the first 4 out, the 4 large potential teams on either side of that, they're all going to lose their final game. They can't all be out. So, it's not like every team that loses is out, but some teams lose in a way that you just can't recover from.
Florida and Texas A&M down in the SEC. This was a wild game. Florida forces overtime. A&M wins it at the buzzer in overtime with the 3. What does this do for the Gators, who seem to be almost like the ultimate bubble team? Every time I look, they're either just in or just out. And what does this do for A&M?
Well, for Florida, they're done. They're in a way, they're kind of like Wake Forest. In a sense, Wake Forest took a really bad loss to Boston College, their worst loss of the season. This is not that for Florida, but this is a team that really needed the opportunity to play and possibly beat Auburn. They're not going to get that now. A&M is going to be in the bracket, at least as I speak right this second. A&M is in my bracket, but Florida is out, and I don't really see a path for Florida to get back in.
You mentioned that Wake had a bad loss to BC. Now let me swing it down to the ACC. If Wake's out, Miami today gets a win. They get one. You had them sort of kind of a bubble team, but they beat BC. How many teams are in the ACC, and how many teams are true bubble teams in that conference?
Well, Duke and Notre Dame and North Carolina, I think, are pretty comfortably in. And really the one I was most concerned about after Wake Forest lost was Miami. I think that win today, avoiding that loss, which would have been a really bad loss for Miami, I think that they can lose to Duke now and still get in the NCAA tournament. I don't know if that would have been true if they had lost to Boston College.
All right, so we're thinking 4 out of the ACC?
It looks like it, 4.
And really no bubble teams. They kind of know all, they don't know they're fake.
Yeah, but it's funny because you've got Duke as a 2 or a 3 seed type of team, and you may not have another team even in the top half of the bracket.
It's a very strange, I guess you could say, down year for the ACC.
Oh, it is without question the worst ACC I've seen in my lifetime because of the lack of depth. I can't think of a year where we've had a major conference where the number 1 team was so much better than everyone else.
Yeah, you've had years where BC's been good, where Pitt's been good, where Syracuse. This is the first time Syracuse ever had a losing season in 45 years, right? It was a very strange year in the ACC, but that seems to be where we are right now. Jerry Palm, our bracketologist, always doing a great job. And again, look, as he tells you, everything is relative. You're in, you're out, you're back, you're forth. Because what you did is always compared to what everybody else is doing. What everybody else is doing is changing minute to minute. So it's bracket week. We've got you covered. Things are changing. The best place to be so that you're up to date is with us right here on CBS Sports HQ.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.